So, second game of the qualifiers ends. Belarus 0, Scotland 2. Could have had a couple more in the game. Of course, there was the Shea Adams effort at the end, or towards the end, that he probably should be doing better with. Scott McTominay had a couple of chances in the game as well. Probably should be doing a bit better, and there was the argument for a couple of penalties potentially for Scotland at times. But professional performance, and I predicted 2-0 before the game as well, so that makes it slightly better for me. In terms of how the game went, Belarus set up to frustrate, as you could imagine, after conceding 5 away from home the other day. They set up to frustrate and try and catch on the counter. They seem to have a fair bit of pace on the break as well at times, so that can kind of seem to be the game plan. Scotland were patient in the build-up, pinging some passes to each other, a couple of mishit passes at times from some of the midfielders. The referee, I thought he had a poor game overall, given fouls that were just really, really soft, in particular John Souttar. A couple of fouls against him that just weren't fouls. He won the ball fairly. Ben Gannon-Doak looked like our best attacking outlet in the first half at times. He just, for me, he should never be out the team. He was doing people for pace. A couple of touches that got away from him at times, but he was doing people for pace inside and outside. And when there's a game that a team is going to be playing more open than Belarus, you would anticipate them to get even more joy, in fairness. But the only goal of the first half comes after a good bit of interchange between Billy Gilmore and John McGinn. They feed the ball into Shea Adams originally, who has his shot blocked. It comes back out wide, and John McGinn puts a really good ball to the back post. Scott McTominay, great header back across, and Adams does well to reach it and score for 1-0. Fair play to him. A lot of people would have wanted to see Kieran Bowie start tonight, myself included, but Adams was heavily involved in both goals and could have had another one himself in the game, so fair play to him. Second half starts, and Belarus trying to get forward a little bit more, since they need to be a little bit more positive, but we do end up getting the second goal of the game, which is an own goal in the end, but it's a well-worked move. It starts from Billy Gilmore. He drives it forward, he feeds in Shea Adams, plays the 1-2 with Billy Gilmore, really good flick ball over the top, and Gilmore heads it back across. It was going to be similar to the first goal. It looked like it was going to reach Scott McTominay anyway, and for a tap-in, but the Belarusian defender heads it into the back of his own net for 2-0 at that point. Before that, there was a really good ball in from John McGinn as well, where McTominay heads it straight at the goalkeeper, and in the first half, Max Johnson put in a good ball where McTominay just put it wide, so McTominay could have had a couple on the night. And then towards the end of the game, we have a really good move down the left-hand side from Scotland. Andy Robertson's played in behind, good run from him, and it's a good first-time pass, good pass into Shea Adams, who should probably take the shot first time, or when he takes his touch, just think it over the goalie then. He does end up getting round the goalie, but he leaves the defender too much time to get back in and block it. But it does finish 2-0 Scotland. None of the players are yellow carded for the next game, red carded for the next game against Greece at Hampden. So that's a really, really big one in terms of this qualifier now, with Greece losing 3-0 to Denmark on the night, which means Denmark on goals scored are currently at the top of the group. But of course, both Scotland and Denmark on 4 points, Greece on 3 and Belarus on none. I anticipate that Belarus will probably pick up no points in the group. So the big ones are going to be the games against each other. Scotland have put themselves in a good position in terms of already getting 2 away games out of the way. We're going to have a double header at home coming up. If we can go into the Belarus game at home with a win against Greece, that can put us in a position to be on 10 points heading into the final 2 games of the World Cup qualifiers, where of course we have to go to Greece away, which will be tough, but we did win there away from home last time. Mind you, we did get beat at home to Greece last time pretty convincingly, and then Denmark at home, who the last time we played them there, we actually beat them 2-0, of course, to secure a World Cup playoff. It may be a similar situation again, securing a playoff, or it might be one stage better. Hopefully it is one stage better at that point. In terms of how the rest of the team played, I thought, most everybody had a decent night. I would have liked to have seen some fresh faces get games, like Kieran Bowie, in particular Lennon Miller actually getting more time than he did, for example. I was pleased to see Scott McKenna on the starting 11, as much as Grant Hanley did play well the other night. I thought Scott McKenna also played really well tonight. Good interceptions from him and driving the ball forward. And at one point he got played in behind and nearly got on the end of it. So there is that. There was a shaky moment at one point in the first half between Angus Gunn and Andy Robertson, where Andy Robertson mishit a back pass to Gunn, and then Gunn played it off the Belarusian striker. So there was that. And then there was one moment in the first half where Max Johnson gets caught sleeping, and Belarus getting behind, but it kind of drags it too far wide, and Gunn deals with it really, really well at that point. But overall, pleased with how the international break has gone. Would have liked to have seen, like I said, some faces in the starting 11 or get used that didn't. I'm particularly disappointed that Kieran Bowie didn't at least get a run out at some point, particularly tonight when you're 2-0 up. It's a shame that he decided to put Dykes on instead of Bowie. But it is what it is. Thank you very much for watching. If you are new around here, please consider checking out some of the other content on the channel, and I'll catch you in the next one.